This has been long overdue. I think, they should have did something there when they had Big E, you know what I mean? So it would have been really, really, legit. But if I were them, if they're going to have this big celebration, then that's when I would bring Big E in.
After 10 years, the New Day, Woods, and Kofi had a huge fallout on Raw. And is it time for this group to be dismantled? I think we've been pretty open about that. I know Teddy and I know how we feel that it's been past time, really. Bill, your thoughts?
That segment with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston was one of the best real. I commented to a wrestler I was talking to on Twitter with WWE, who's on hiatus right now, and we both agreed that looked like a shoot. That it was that intense, it was that good. And of course, next week, they are, depending upon when you're watching this, they're leading to the 10-year celebration for them. You notice Big E wasn't around last night at all. They could have brought him in, not last night as terms of when we were watching this.
And for those of you who are wondering what happened, let me explain what happened. Woods accused Kofi of wrestling like garbage, prompting Kofi to respond that all he's ever done is try to help Woods. And Kofi also gave Woods hell for fumbling his opportunities in recent years. Woods then hit back, saying that Kofi was too, quote, scared to take any risk for a world championship until he came around himself, meaning that that's when Xavier came around him. Woods was also the reason that Kofi won, according to Woods.
Yeah.
Kofi responded by telling Woods that he wasn't good enough to be a world champion like he and Big E were.
Did you hear the response from the fans in the audience? That was very audible.
To which Woods told Kofi that he pissed away his world title reign and handed it back to Brock Lesnar on a silver platter.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Teddy, your thoughts about that confrontation between those guys?
Well, like Bill, I thought the promo was outstanding. I mean, it was real and it was believable. But I think this has been long overdue. I think, they should have did something there when they had Big E, you know what I mean? So it would have been really, really legit. But if I were them, if they're going to have this big celebration, then that's when I would bring Big E in. I would have Big E to come in, be a part of that celebration. Then maybe Kofi and Xavier, they'd get into some shit right there. Maybe Big E tries to straighten this thing out. What I mean, maybe one of them lays a punch on him. You know what I mean? Now we got something going, but I wouldn't do it all right there. I'd start it there and work it all the way to the next Monday Night Raw or whatever TV they want to do it on.
I think Xavier or Woods, what's he called? Does he go by Xavier Woods?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you watch the television at all?
I do, but I know him by Woods, and I keep thinking Xavier.
I thought I was bad.
You are, but that's okay.
Linda McMahon, she's in the news, and this time it's good news. At least if you're Linda McMahon, she's now the United States Secretary of Education. Good move, Bill.
Does she get a belt?
I don't know. I'm saying it'd be fun. Oh,
because Trump's a big wrestling fan. You know that. And, he's been in the wrestling. Good for her. I mean, she has supported. Whether I do or I do not support him, that's not what we're talking about. No. But for her to be put on his roster, he's now the booker, and he's booking all the people. That's just like when Dusty brought in his whole crew.
Yep.
Trump is the new booker, and he's bringing his own people in. So she has been one of his people, and so has Vince McMahon and the entire McMahon and Levesque family. They're very close to him. So, yeah, he's the booker, and they got to do, he's picking out who's doing what.
Teddy, let me ask you, on Linda McMahon, she always comes across, when you saw her on TV, as being a real sweetheart. She always looked like she was probably the nicest of the entire family. Would that be accurate? Was she the complete opposite of what Vince was? Vince was such a hard, I know he had to do business, but she seemed like maybe the mother type.
Well, yeah, that would be true. I had a chance to meet her on several occasions, and each time I met her, she was always nice and pleasant, had a good conversation, talked to you, and, just, took time. And, yeah, she was really a sweetheart of a lady. So, and all I want to say is for her, it's her new job. Congratulations, and I hope she does her very best.
I knew her very well. Very well. Met her 100 times.
How would you describe her versus Vince?
A business lady, but very sweet. Vince was very intimidating when you talk to him. She has a very, again, business-like personality, but she's sweet while she's telling it to you. And there were a few times I was around her when I was switching over from PWI Company to WOW Magazine that she was, and they didn't like WOW Magazine. She was very stern with me. We like you, you're part of our family, but you go to that magazine, keep in mind, we're not going to help you at all. And she was very stern about that. But that's where the business part came in.
And I actually had a conversation with Linda just by chance because we were having an issue with a Georgia law regarding independent wrestling. And I called Dusty Rhodes at the time and said, Dusty, we got a problem here. They're going to shut down independent wrestling in Georgia. And he said, hold on for a minute. And he said, I'll call you back. And he called me back. And he gave
like that. He said it like this. Hold on, baby. Hold on. I'll get back with you.
Yeah.
If you will.
I'm not even going to try to do a Dusty because I would get tore up if I do. But she actually, the number he gave me to call to get that handled was Linda McMahon. She picked up the phone. I told her what we needed, and she got their attorney, to help fight a bill that was going through, the halls in Georgia, and it never made it through because of her help, because the WWE and Linda McMahon said, if you do this in the independent wrestling in Georgia, we will no longer run shows in the state of Georgia. That bill died almost immediately.
I have 3 letters from her that I ran in my weekly newsletter on Backstage Pass, talking to me about possibly working for the company. And I have those in my archives here.
Let me ask you something. This will be like a complete change from what we've been talking about, but I was thinking about back in the Attitude Era, some of the things that we saw on TV that I just can't imagine that we would even see today. Do you remember I know you do, the live sex celebration, Teddy, with Edge and Lita under the sheets in the bed in the ring?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts and what were people thinking in the back when they saw that? Because that was really pushing the envelope.
Oh, shit, we just laughing, having a good time. It's different when you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're just waiting, to see it. But I thought it was absolutely great, man.
I keep thinking, man, how can you get up under those sheets? Because I think she actually removed her bra under those sheets or something. And
wait a minute, this is a PG show, gang. Come on.
Yeah. she exposed a little something, maybe the puppies. Yeah. But I just thought one of those things today would never make it. Would it, Bill?
No, you can't, because of it's a public company, publicly traded company. It's PG, so you can't do it. They could do it. They could do it, but they'll get thrown off of.
I was in some of those crazy scenes with Edge and Vicky, where they were in the masseuse or somewhere, and then Vicky was putting olives on her eyes or something. Something I forget what it was, but I was there doing all that, so I was involved in some of that wild stuff. It's great.
Excuse me.
Oh, she's putting cucumbers on her eyes. That's what it was.
Cucumbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Vicky Guerrero. I miss her.
Oh, yeah.
I miss her. She's still alive, everybody. But I miss her being in the wrestling business.
I saw her in Seattle when I was at the last SmackDown there. Vicky was there. Yeah, she still looks the same and looks great and still a sweetheart.
Great character.
Yeah. All right, before we run out of time, let me ask you your thoughts. Trish Stratus said that she had proposed a non-PG storyline, much like the one we were just talking about, which was rejected. And she said, quote, I had proposed something. Tell me how this would have played out. I suggested that Stephanie McMahon and I could have been backstage and I'd be showing her a few yoga moves and then Triple H walks in. Now, wouldn't that have been much better? Like super cute. It would have been one of those if you know moments.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Thank you, because that was going to be my point. If you know, you know. I don't know what she's talking about. Now, I remember when Triple H was showing her moves in the back. Remember, and Stephanie walked in and caught him in a compromising position, but it was just he was trying to show her a move. Yeah. I think she wanted it to be more of a yoga move, and she was showing Stephanie, and he would walk in. I don't know that would have been any better. I actually liked the way they shot it originally. Bill, your thoughts?
I don't remember it that well, so it really didn't stick with me.
Teddy, do you remember it that well at all? Sorry, Sportskeeda.
Could you move on?
Hey, that was it. We're out of time now. That was the last one on there. Bill, anything you want to talk about? We got a couple of minutes here.
Well, as people, again, right there, Backstage Pass on Patreon. Go to Backstage Pass on Google. You can find it. Go to Sportskeeda Backstage Pass.
It's on Patreon. It's on Patreon, yes. And you go to Backstage Pass SK. And that's where you'll find all these shows.
Didn't I say Patreon? Well, you can go to Google and put in Backstage Pass Sportskeeda, and it will take you to what you just said. Yes, that's a good.
Take an extra step doing it Bill's way.
No, you're right. You're right. But some great stuff. Mac Davis and Vince Russo have got the Bro Show on there. JBL and Gerald Briscoe. I'm on there with WrestleVotes, and my newsletter is on there every week, and lots of great content still being rolled out for you people and it's only $4.99 a month, not $499, $4.99.
As a matter of fact, on the last Bro Down that I did with Vince Russo, Bill, we talked about you because I brought up, it was right before we had shut the show off. I just have a tendency to say whatever was on my mind. Yeah. And he had said your name, and I said, "Oh, I heard that you got a little ticked off because Bill didn't mention it." And I talked about it straight on there that that he blocked you and everything else. He started laughing. If you want to find out more about that, go to Patreon and you'll find it right there.
Do I have heat with him still?
You'll have to find out.
Oh.
But he clarified everything at that point. He talked about a lot of things towards the end of that show. I just kind of threw at him, and he had no idea what was happening.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Maybe him on his toes, that's for sure, and he knows I'll never hold back. Teddy, what's coming up for you? Anything, my friend?
Nothing. I'm just waiting on Thanksgiving Day to come around so I can go visit some of the family and have a great day then, and that's about it. I was supposed to be at WrestleCade, but I don't know what I'm going to be there now, because I got Rufus and my border is booked up, so I may not have anywhere to leave him, so I may have to miss WrestleCade. But if something comes over, I'll see you guys at WrestleCade.
That sounds good. Anything else for you guys before I close it out?
Well, with WrestleCade, we're talking about, I keep getting people saying, we'll see you at WrestleCade, and I can't be there. We have family commitments over Thanksgiving weekend. I just wish they would do it on another weekend so I could be there and see all
they're not going to do that, Bill.
I know.
They've been doing it like this for many, many years.
I know. I was there once, and I got yelled at, so.
Okay.
By family.
We are out of here. Don't forget, Road Trip After Hours on YouTube drops every Friday. Teddy and I have that show, and it's a lot of fun. There are interviews and just a lot of fun and chat, and even listener mail or viewer mail, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
This has been Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine. I'm Mac Davis. That's pro wrestling journalist Mr. Bill Apter and WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long.
A real telephone time machine. This is it.
He's pointing at a picture for those of you who are just listening. He's pointing at a phone, an old phone.
Hello? 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 There's nobody there. Resume?